It's time for Class Racing Today, the podcast for the NHRA class racing fan. Welcome back to Class Racing Today, classracingtoday.com. This is episode 59, a special episode today. Remember, classracingtoday.com, you can help support the show. Go there, click on the donate button. You get to choose the value you receive from the show, turn it into dollars and send it back our way so we can continue this. Bobby just returned from, hold on. Before we get there, racederbycity.com. I want you guys to remember to go check that out. The second annual Class Racers Revival is coming up the end of the month here in April, 28th through May 1 in St. Louis. Brian was there lamenting the fact again that he's not going again. But Bobby was out in Vegas. How was that crazy? Out there in the Vegas land.
Man,
Sin City, they call it.
Sin City. It was a real treat getting out there, and it was even crazier trying to get home. But I made it. I made it.
Excellent.
So,
I'm coming with
goodness.
you. I'm going to come with you next time just around the camera because the true value in this whole thing would be the experience getting there. Like going to the airport, flights canceled.
Well, 11. What was supposed to be? It was 11 hours in Orlando on the way there. So okay, I walked around Orlando and whatnot. I was supposed to have a 10 o'clock flight out of there at night and get into Vegas around 1 a.m. Vegas time. Well, I'm in the airport, Orlando, at 10 o'clock at night, and they delayed that flight till midnight, which I fell asleep waiting, and I woke up and thought I missed it, and thankfully I didn't. So get into Vegas around 3 a.m. Vegas time, get in the Airbnb. Thank God that was pretty smooth just to get there, get in, and then set the alarm for 6:30. So got about 3 hours of sleep that first night, woke up in the Airbnb, and anybody that saw me live that morning knows that my Airbnb didn't have any coffee in it. So I was like, I didn't know that was a thing. So I just headed to the track with no caffeine, went live, forgot to turn my microphone on while I was live for 20 minutes. I guess that's, one of the disadvantages of not being caffeinated. And that was it. I had fun for 2 days running around, did a lot of interviews, got a lot of editing to do. And then on the way home, got to the Vegas airport Saturday night for another one of those 10 o'clock flights out of there. Got through security, looked at the board to see where my flight was leaving. And right next to my flight, it had a big canceled next to it. So canceled now. Had to figure out what I'm going to do now.
Oh, man.
So I'm so tired. I'm like looking for a new flight. Maybe I can go to Los Angeles. I have a friend that lives there, and then maybe I can go home. Like my only option from Spirit Airlines was to rebook on Tuesday. They wanted me to stay in Vegas until Tuesday, and they weren't going to give me a hotel. So that was another argument in and of itself.
So they canceled your flight and then didn't give you an option?
They said they canceled due to weather, which the weather in Philly, and it was the weather in Philly. I mean, I called my sister and said, "What's the weather there? Is it snowing or something?" She said, "No, it's like 55 and doing nothing." All right, so
hold on. Was this the beginning of the month? It was, right?
This was early on. Saturday, April 2nd.
Yeah, see, that's weird because normally the end of the month is when you run into issues because the pilots are out of hours, and so they'll cancel flights because they don't have available pilots. But that's the first part of the month, so that's weird that would be there.
All right, well then the story continues because they kept calling. I was sitting there. I was just like defeated. I was too tired to get mad, but they kept saying final boarding for Chicago, final boarding for Chicago. So I hurried up and went on my phone and thought, well, if I could magically get on this Chicago flight, can I get a flight from Chicago to Philly? Mm-hmm. So I found one from Chicago to Philly at 6 a.m. And I knew I was going to land in Chicago if I got on this flight at 3 a.m. So I ran over to the desk. I said, "Hey, can I just get on this flight?" So they put me on the Chicago flight. And then, all right, so this is where it gets tricky. I used my special app that I told everybody about a couple weeks ago called Skip Lagged. And I found a flight that was going from Chicago to Boston, but it had a layover in Philly. So that's how I was going to make this work. So I got on the plane, or I got on the plane to Chicago, Las Vegas to Chicago, but I booked a flight from Chicago to Boston, stopping in Philly.
Do you have checked bags, or are you carrying on?
No, I just have a backpack,
Okay.
so I don't have to worry about my
Alright.
bag ending up in Boston. So this is the first time this ever happened to me. When I land in Chicago, and I'm just like, yes, I'm just gonna sleep for 2 hours in Chicago and go right, just right at the gate, and then get on that plane to Philly. I land in Chicago, and I have an alert. Your flight from Chicago to Philly has been canceled, but don't worry, we got you a direct flight to Boston.
Oh, jeez.
I'm like, no. All right, so where I thought I could just go to sleep at 3 a.m., now I have to solve a problem here, and the airport's empty. I can't find anybody to talk to, and it was just a disaster. I finally schmoozed an American Airlines worker that was behind a desk, and I told her what I was doing, and then she set it all up for me. She's like, all right, and I got it all figured out. You're gonna go we have a flight leaving at 8:30 in the morning, so I had to wait a couple more hours. I'll put you on standby. Okay. So from Chicago to Philly on standby. Standby comes around. My name's on the board up here, and they let this family get on before me on standby because they had a couple extra seats. Then they bring me on the plane after them, walk all the way down like the jetway, like you're getting on the plane, stop me at the door, and they say, sorry, no more seats for you. Go back into the airport. So at this point, I'm like, this is like comical at this point. So then they found me another flight at 10:30, had to wait 2 more hours in the Chicago airport, and finally got a flight home. Thank God. And then I was so tired, and then I had to work all night and tutor kids in math, where my brain was barely working as it was. But that's my story, and I'm home now.
So does that just prove that your mental skills are pretty decent to be able to jump right back in and do math tutoring right after that?
Oh, yeah.
Impressive.
And it wasn't anything. I was like, maybe it's just, a simple algebra 1. No, of course not. Why would it? I mean, it was like pre-calculus. Like I was slugging coffees, like trying to get my brain back up to function, and I did pretty well. And then
So there wasn't a direct flight from Philly to Vegas?
no. Mm-mm.
Really?
Well, there probably is for $1,000.
There probably was, but it was like probably not showing up on my radar, not on my price screening. So
I was trying to look at the Skip Lag app. It doesn't not compatible with my phone, it says.
Really? They fighting with Tim Cook?
An iPhone 3S or something?
I don't know, it's an iPhone, but it says not compatible with this phone.
Huh.
Yeah.
But that's probably...
It's been a lifesaver, that app. And I've done that plenty of times where you book a flight to one other, the other place, and you just get off the plane at the layover, and it saves you a lot of money. You'd be surprised sometimes, like a flight, from Chicago to Boston, stopping in Philly, that was $150. But I've seen it where that same exact flight, if I just wanted to go from Chicago to Philly, was like $400. Now, I don't know how that makes any sense at all. So you save, $250 or $300 by, doing that stopover trick. However, it can screw you. That's the first time that ever happened to me, and I've been using that app since about 6 years now.
See, a lot of times, I mean, airlines, if they're going somewhere anyway, they need bodies. They can't tell you that out loud, but they need bodies in those seats because, I mean, any money is better than no money. Like, they don't want to fly with empty planes. So if they can get you in, but they're not going to tell you that. But if they have some of these systems that will, kind of break down your, some of these inner workings of it. But I just learned about the end of the month. It's easy to run into problems with availability of flights at the end of the month because of
that's why that Chicago to Philly flight was canceled because lack of crew.
Yeah.
So maybe that's what you're talking about.
Well, and they do still have some COVID crew issues.
You could have offered to serve coffee, Bobby. Like, hey, I'm pretty handy. I can serve coffee. I can hand out snacks.
Actually, you could totally get up there and do the announcement.
I've seen this enough times. Right. Exit, go this way. Do you agree to help or do anything if the plane goes down? Okay, good. Let's get out of here.
You should have broke out don't you know who I am?
Right.
I'm here to interview the driver.
Here's the seatbelt. Plug it in. If you don't know how to, what's he saying, Tommy boy? If you don't know how to do that, come by. Tommy will hit you in the head with a hammer. So All right, that's enough about the traveling woes.
Well,
Let's
I want to
get
back
into
up
it.
one step. We forgot one crucial bit of information here. Airbnb without coffee. Tell me you gave them negative stars.
I don't write reviews. Like I just 5 stars, 5 stars. Everything's great. If I had a bed and a shower, I'm good to go.
You should have
But
been
I
like,
did
you should have been like a
sneak
cup
it
of
in
coffee
there
would have
that
been
like
awesome.
coffee. Well, she had a coffee machine. There was a machine there. There was the filters, but there was no ground brown stuff.
Well,
So-
okay, no, that's not that's not outrageous. I've got an Airbnb in a couple weeks down in Florida that we're going to be in, and they make it very clear in the paperwork that says if you've got, we can't guarantee that anything will be left over from the previous people, but they might be. But you need to prep everything for yourself,
Does somebody take it with when they leave?
or they just use it all. I hope they don't.
Like,
Just don't.
I'm a little
First
low
of
at
all,
coffee
don't-
at home,
don't
so I'm
even
just
have
gonna
that.
pack this.
Right.
I don't want to make coffee like that. Like I'm not making a pot of coffee for a big party at my house. Have a little Keurig and have a couple of pods. That's all.
But
I'm staying there
you're
2
assuming
nights.
this
Give
is a
me 4
hotel.
pods.
You're assuming it's a hotel, right?
Well, I host. I do Airbnb myself, and
Okay.
I have a Keurig in there, and you have plenty. I give them like 10 of them.
All right.
So-
Here's the problem then, Bobby. You are the problem because you're creating you're creating an expectation in the Airbnb world that is you're going to be prepared with that, and you still then when you go get subpar service, you give them a 5-star rating. You're the problem.
All right, I'm the problem.
If we only knew a coffee guy that could supply us with coffee when you go on
kidding.
these trips, Bobby, right? Like,
No
where's the artisan
kidding.
guy? Here's your little travel packs, just in case you get there and there's no coffee.
Thomas Baker wants to know what Brian's shirt says.
Oh, something inappropriate.
Ooh, your girl loves my wheelie. All right.
I'm confused.
Well, at least it's not as bad as Nutsense. So somebody actually asked me about that while I was in Vegas.
Oh no.
Let's turn it over to a serious and sad note here. Bob Unkefer. We are all praying for Bob Unkefer and well wishes to his family for a speedy recovery. I mean, anything's possible. Everybody, if we pray and we give it up to God, something good can happen. So I'm just asking everybody that's watching right now and everybody that watches this maybe later on today, say a prayer for Bob Unkefer. Let's pray for a miracle here and that something good happens.
That's like the highlight is just listening to. I mean, he's a reason that makes watching it like bearable some days, right? Like,
Well, the announcer in a lot of these events makes or breaks it, and when you're that deep in knowledge that he is, that's huge.
I mean, I enjoy just hearing him talk about me. You know, go out first round. Oh, good try. Like, it just like brightens your spirits.
And announcing stock and super stock is no easy task. Okay. I mean, there are so many different cars and engine combinations, and he's a wealth of knowledge. And you can tell a good stock and super stock announcer from someone that doesn't know anything, from a bracket racer who's just trying to announce stock and super stock that just says, oh, there's a 69 Camaro in the right lane. And that's it. I mean, this guy is such a good announcer, and he's just such a valuable asset to class racing. I mean, he was announcing races this year, so whatever happened here sounds like it was pretty sudden and serious. So it's very, very unfortunate.
Well, miracles, some can happen, but we're gonna miss him. Like, it's his voice is to me the voice of sportsman's racing.
I finally met him in person last year at the St. Louis race at Tyler Bohannon Class Racer Revival. So yeah, it's crazy that this is happening right now. I just can't believe it. Unfortunate.
I just appreciated his commentary on the cloud of smoke that followed Brian around that race.
Yeah. Greg is never gonna let us forget that cloud of smoke. That's so funny.
No, it's fantastic.
I did get a text the other day that my pistons have arrived, so my motor will be going back together, so that's exciting. But no, I'm really gonna miss hearing Unk on the radio. I guess he's just such a pleasure to listen to and does a great job, and I don't know anybody that doesn't love him. So you're loved. We're hoping for miracles, and
Also, a national event winner, I believe it was Austin Ford, put up a really nice post last night, or I forget when he put it up. I couldn't sleep last night, so I probably read it in the middle of the night. And he had to race Unk in the final, and he said in the final, Unk was 001 and like dead on, and he was so Austin was like sad that he didn't win, but he was so happy for Unkefer to win that it was all worthwhile. And I think that's the picture that everyone keeps posting. It's just such a great picture. If that's the one where Unkefer's in the winner circle there with just a huge smile on his face. Just what a guy. I just can't believe this. So prayers for Bob Unkefer. You know, we also missed Monty Bogan passed away a couple weeks ago. So, I mean, there's another big name that I've heard for years, and I think he was really helpful. Rochelle Thibert talked about him in her driver interview, and he helped her get started in racing. So, I don't know what's going on anymore. It's just these sudden sicknesses. If it's this COVID, if it's
Careful.
yeah, I better watch it. Anything related to COVID? Jeez,
Yeah.
just all right. Anyways, what else? I have a laundry list of things that I wanted to tell you guys about.
So outside of your travel debacles, what was the highlight of your weekend?
Hey, I got to ride in Mike Logie's Plymouth GTX.
Nice.
So trying to do driver interviews is hard when you don't have a golf cart and you don't have a bicycle. I mean, you're walking, just starting line in the pits. Vegas is such a huge place, so it's like bigger than what I'm used to doing, and it's like I went down in the lanes. I was trying to get some pictures, and I walked up to interview somebody. Then they called somebody back to the lanes, and then I was going to try and walk back, and he saw me, and he was like, "Here, you want to hop in the car?" I was like, "Absolutely."
Nice.
So
I thought you
got an
looked
Uber
a little.
ride in a Plymouth GTX.
I thought you looked a little more glowy today. You know, the Mopar spirits, that absorbed into your skin. You just have a special glow about you.
The West Coast is the land of Plymouths. We do not have that many on the East Coast. That's all. I realized after my fourth or fifth driver interview that all I had done was Plymouth so far, and I was like, "Wow, I gotta spread this out a little bit." I've never seen so many nice ones in one place. I got the Jerome family, Jeff Jerome and Justin Jerome. I got Eric Bell. I mean, that car is beautiful. That was Tony DePillo's old car. Who else did I get? People may have seen the Chad Langdon interview. I can't even remember all the interviews that I have. I have lots of editing to do, but just Plymouth's, you can't not like those cars. Mopars, they're cool. And you're a Mopar guy at heart, right, Brian? I mean,
Absolutely.
A Barracuda, a Duster, a Fury, a Savoy. Like, I didn't even get to Steve Wan. I mean, there was so many people that I wanted to talk to, but like I said, no bike, no golf cart. You can walk 100 miles to someone's pit spot and they're not there, and it's like, all right, you got to keep moving, find somebody else, and that's it. And then everybody is always like, oh, you should go interview this one, or you should go interview that one. And I'm like, I already walked there. They weren't there. I can't walk there again unless somebody's gonna give me a ride.
Did you stumble by Johnny's Kitchen?
No, I saw Johnny a couple times on the starting line, and in the lanes, but I never found out where he was pitted, so I didn't get to Johnny's Kitchen.
He's gonna have to get the neon sign above the mobile bowling alley so he can have maybe get a big flag or something.
I did meet Marcus Svensson from Sweden, so he keeps his car here in America and comes back to race. So his number starts with an 8. We have Division 1 through 7 here, so if you're out of the country, his number starts with an 8. So that was pretty cool, and he was interesting to talk to. Very knowledgeable about clutches too.
Is there a Division 8 champion?
I don't know. I should have asked him that. Should look that up.
I should move to a country with no other super stock racers, and then I could win.
You could just be
by a division.
Right.
It's an easy way for a gold card.
So, also, Joe Costello. Everybody's probably seen on Facebook. NHRA is starting to interview stockers, like the designated pairs, when they go out there, and they're putting them on Facebook. But Joe Costello came up to me this weekend and was like, "Hey, I just want to let you know. I mean, it's only hearsay, but I heard, and don't know if it's true." And I thought he was gonna say something like, "You're not allowed to do interviews anymore," or something crushing to me. But he said somebody complained about us interviewing drivers before they go out there, and I just want you to know that we ask the drivers before we interview them if they're okay with it, and if they say no, then we don't interview them. So I told him I would spread the word to our class racing family that if Joe Costello tries to interview you before you go out there, he's going to ask you first, and you can say no if you don't want to. But I would say yes. I told him he could stick a microphone in my face as I'm pulling into the water box. I don't care. If it gets stock and super stock noticed, do it. Hit me in the face with the microphone. Doesn't matter to me.
So why did he feel he needed to tell you that?
I think somebody expressed concerns on our page about it. So I told him that I would.
Did you say, all you got to do, Joe, is come on the show?
Oh, I did. I said, you should come on. We'll interview you. And he asked what we would talk about. He asked if we would talk about. See, he and I have a running inside joke about the Karate Kid, because one time I won and he was announcing and he said that Fazio sweeps the leg. And I had to find him immediately and just tell him that you just quoted like my favorite movie of all time. So that's like our running inside joke now. So he was like, well, come on. We can talk about the Karate Kid. Let's see if you watched Cobra Kai yet.
Interesting.
So anybody that, if Joe Costello wants to interview you, I think it's good for us. If you don't want to, you have the right to say no. But like I said, I would say yes. Get video of my car. It's good for potential sponsorship and good for us getting noticed.
How big was his crew running about with those interviews? Just one guy?
No, just him and a I think he had a girl with him doing the camera, and he's on the microphone. And just standing up there in the lanes. But it's cool because he interviews you in the lanes, and then he like hightails it on a golf cart down to the return road and catches you after the run on the return road and hands you your time slip and asks you to talk about what do you think about that run and how did it go down.
So is that a sanctioned product from the race, the organizers then? It must be, right?
NHRA.
Yeah, to be able to get that down there because he's the official voice for them. Is that right?
Yeah, one of them.
And then he instantly gets the clip of the race too.
Yeah. Well, because I mean, if we're going to be honest about the gear they've got, I mean, they're running $100,000 worth of video switching equipment, pretty easy, if not million. I mean, it's insane what they've got. So they can grab those things real fast. That's cool though. Bring him on.
All right, we'll have to ask him. He's got his own podcast, WFO Radio, I believe it's called.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I wanted to just let everybody know, like Brian and I used today to find race results, which we didn't cover the race results. So let me give them to you and then tell you how we found them so easily. In Stock Eliminator, Ryan McClanahan, who qualified number 1, parlayed that into a win. He had a win over Doug Lambeck. I think Doug Lambeck was runner-up in Stock, and he was runner-up in Comp Eliminator. So good weekend for Doug Lambeck. It's like a great weekend, but you wish you could have just won one of them. I'm happy for Doug Lambeck, but he's probably a little bit mad at the same time. So nonetheless, good job, Doug Lambeck. And then in Super Stock, Justin Lamb got the win. He's one of the most winningest drivers at Las Vegas, the strip at Las Vegas Dragway. And he got the win over Tony Hughes, who was driving a 69 Mustang, I believe, Cobra Jet. And did anybody see that Tony Hughes versus Kyle Rizzoli? I think it was round 2 of Superstock. They were the last pair to go down the track. I'm standing on the starting line. They closed out Superstock. Tony Hughes is 023. Kyle Rizzoli is 024. They both go dead on with a 0. So naturally, the margin of victory at the finish line is 1,000th of a second. What a race! It was crazy. And the announcer was harping on it for a good 2 minutes after it was over. And I took a picture of the scoreboard and just sent it or posted it because it was amazing. And then he got all the way to the final and actually had a better light than Lamb in the final, but the car didn't run the number. They think there's something wrong. It was like way off. So sadly for them, they did not get that win. They got the runner-up, which is still a great weekend, and the runner-up to Justin Lamb. I mean, the guy's a pro, let's face it. So it's no easy task to beat him. But congratulations, Justin Lamb, on your win, and Tony Hughes on your runner-up. And then,
Well, in stock,
yeah,
how much money would have been lost in the power rankings to figure if you would have said Justin Lamb goes out second round, nobody would have took that bet.
yeah, that's the beauty of power rankings and the beauty of fantasy stock and super stock, which is we're gonna possibly dabble in pretty soon. Because right now I'm having fun with the power rankings where I didn't put up the exact top 10 in order. I put up like the number one, which was Jody Lang in stock, but then I was like kind of skipping around. I went down to people that weren't, people that were considered underdogs, just to show what their power ranking is and what their win probability would be. So yeah, if you took Lamb, you'd be in trouble, right?
Oh, Johnny Deacon, another one of our D5 guys. He was going some rounds. That was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, he was. He was in the power rankings. Albeit not the correct car. I thought he was driving a AA stick Corvette, but he was driving somebody else's car. So that would have affected his power ranking. I would have had to clarify that before an official power ranking. And then in super stock, I mean, Justin Lamb would have been in those power rankings for sure, but I think I didn't put him in there. I think I put him on the stock power rankings, but I was like, again, scattering the list up. So yeah, if you like, let's say you bought drivers for that weekend and we do it, I think it's even better that you do it before qualifying, because you could have bought Jimmy DeFrank, who was number one in the power rankings for Superstock. I mean, let's say you had a fictitious $100. Jimmy DeFrank would have cost probably $75 to $80. So you can't really afford to buy another heavily favored driver. Well, if Jimmy DeFrank and Justin Lamb get paired up first round, one of those guys is going home. That is really going to mess with somebody's, purchased drivers there. So that's the beauty of it. It's going to be really cool. I'm looking into how we can actually start doing this on a not a weekly basis, but like a national event basis.
What I like about the driver, about your Drag Insights app, is I'm just looking at some of the rounds now. So like round one, and I like how it breaks it out at the end. So John Shaw, A stock automatic, Peter Theobald, C stock automatic. So we had a 100 light against an 034. And Sean Theobald, let's see, wasn't ready for the really close win. Margin of victory was 0.0075 seconds, approximately 17 inches. Like, just, I like how it breaks it down at the end. And you can look at the numbers. The guys have been doing this forever. We'll look at it and be like, oh, that wasn't even a race. Well, yeah. 17 inches, you still could have lost. Like, it was his race to lose against 100 light. Like, you just never know how this stuff goes. First round.
And it's so easy now when you just log into Drag Insights. The homepage has that calendar. You can see what races are coming up. You can see what races already happened. And you click on the race. It gives you all the winners and all the full results. So easy now.
Is this ever going to get picked up by officially as a resource by the NHRA?
Yeah, I don't know. Good question. Could be. Could get scolded. We don't know. I mean, they're a funny bunch. Hopefully they embrace it and utilize it and work together with us, because I think it would be great. I think it would be great to turn it into a spectator app, which is what I would really love to do, and interact with it. Have spectators use it to find, where races are pitted, where the closest bathroom is, where the tire guy is, in case they want to go buy some tires, like things like that.
Well, you could even, if you wanted to go deeper, this is way in the weeds, but you could you could predict how a race is going to go as they come up to the line. Rodeo Houston, big, huge rodeo in Houston, Texas. They have an app Them, and then I think San Antonio, the same thing. You can predict the score they're going to give the rider as they're doing it, and so then you can kind of see where you're at. And I think they have some games they play with it, but it's a cool concept, and I think that would be a really neat interaction point from the crowd at a race. As you come up, all right, who's going to win? What do you think the margin's going to be? And just, instantly throw in there, you've got, a minute, 30 seconds as they come up. Maybe not even that to do it. But, but it keeps the fans engaged even more.
Have a live poll.
Oh, yeah, totally. That'd be
live
awesome.
Poll. Money odds.
Yeah. Well, it gets a lot deeper in the coding world, but I think that would be a really fun aspect.
Oh, yeah.
Interactive racing. There
Believe
you go.
me. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Somebody else was asking, I think it was Johnny's Kitchen, and Rochelle T. Bear and a couple others asked me multiple times. So while I remember it right now, if you guys don't mind, the flyers. I've talked about flyers that I hand out at events that explain stock and super stock. So actually, here's the front of my flyer. Brian, you're going to love it because it has.
Who would ever look at that thing? Oh, it's Fazio Racing. I like it in the oval. Never mind. I saw the blue oval and I just got instantly sick to my stomach, and then I had to take a second and read it.
You glossed over.
Yeah.
So it shows the three cars that we run. This is my Mustang and stock Limner. This is my friend's Ford Maverick and super stock GT, and then my Mustang and super stock. And then it has like the combinations, the minimum weights and their indexes. And then on the back is where all that stuff gets explained. It's kind of long. I mean, I made these years ago when people actually took time to read stuff, but I don't know if they still do anymore. So this is like a kind of a long explanation of, how stock and super stock, what are the classes all about? Like the first section is what are the stock and super stock classes all about? It explains, a manufacturer's run of at least 50 cars had to be made. It had to be available to the public type of deal. Then it goes into a couple of the rules on stock versus a couple of the rules on super stock. It goes into how a weight break and how a horsepower rating and how a minimum weight and how an index is all calculated. And then it goes into how an actual race goes down. If you are paired up against cars in different classes, how a dial-in system works and how, the head start works and how the breakout system works. And then it goes into if the cars are in the same class, how it's a heads-up run. It's an old-fashioned drag race that everybody knows and loves. First car to the finish line wins. So then I have a couple QR codes at the bottom that I have a cool in-car video of my car that they can watch. And then I have a QR code that's going to like the podcast. And I need to redo these because these are kind of old. I need a QR code that's going to my latest interview that was last year with Evan Smith. So you can put whatever QR codes you want. But a couple people were asking me what my design looked like. That's what my design looks like. I run out of them at the track, at national events for sure. So a good way to keep spreading the word on stock and super stock. You guys know how I roll. I don't stop.
That's awesome, Bobby. The blue oval though, do you have permission to use that from Ford? Like, I literally thought it was a Ford logo. Like, you scared me a little bit with that. You should have just something more inviting, like put a pentagon, do like the Mopar signal or a symbol, or then people are like, oh.
We should blur that out. You might want to edit that out. I don't want to get a copyright infringement at the end of this episode.
Figure out how it's fair use. I don't know how you do that, but.
Man, unfortunately, my Villanova Wildcats did not prevail against Kansas this weekend. However, they did get further than Alan Reinhardt's Arizona Wildcats. I really wanted to message him about that, but I don't know his email. He says it all the time, but I don't know what it was. But he thinks his Arizona Wildcats are the best. They were a number 1 seed, and they went down in like round 2 or 3, whereas my Villanova Wildcats made it to the Final Four.
Oh, you're talking about a sport. Sorry.
Oh, yeah, NCAA. NCAA March Madness. Your favorite thing, Craig.
Oh, yeah. It's April.
Your favorite thing. We lost to the Kansas Jayhawks, though, and Kansas beat North Carolina in the final. I know we had some North Carolina fans because we have a lot of D2 racers.
You said we. Were you suited up?
I always say we. Yes. When I was at Villanova as a student, I did work.
Oh, okay. You have
my-
all right. All right. I get it. Okay,
Yeah.
never mind.
My
You
student
have a
job
little bit.
was I worked in the cafeteria for like a measly $5 an hour, but I had to put the food out for the basketball players at the end of practice every day. And some of it was some really good food. So naturally, I didn't put all of it out.
I didn't know Fazio was French. We.
Oh man.
And they had steak and lobster. I don't know if that was a special occasion, but only about half of that got put out on that dinner that night. The other half got shoved into the trunk of my car and got brought back to the frat house.
So I assume we're past the statute of limitations, so you're okay to talk about it now?
Yeah,
Perfect.
I think it's been like 15 years. I think I can divulge that.
So did we cover all the highlights from Vegas?
Well, we covered the winners. We covered that awesome round that closed out Superstock.
Wait, were you there for the Grammys?
Absolutely not.
Oh, checking.
Wait, was I? I don't know.
What,
I might have been
didn't that
waiting
happen
in the
Sunday?
airport.
I don't know.
What, that Will Smith slap? That thing?
That was the other one. The other
Oh.
the other award show no one cared about.
I haven't watched an award show since probably like 1998, so
Yeah.
I don't know. The last time they made good movies is probably the last time I watched one of those award shows. So I don't know. I can't find anything to watch in the theater anymore. It's either like Batman version 15 or Star Wars version 105
I'm sorry,
or
it's
Spider-Man.
the Batman. Come on now.
So just like, how about in the 90s, how spoiled we were, where like movies like Forrest Gump, Speed, and Shawshank Redemption were all playing in the theater at the same time.
Well, let's think about this though. May 24th, Top Gun Maverick is coming out finally.
Out loud. Finally.
They filmed that how many years ago?
It's
And
probably
they're
old
finally
now.
releasing it. Yeah, 2018 he was promoting that movie. All right, where are we headed this weekend?
Houston and Vegas.
Look on the Drag Insights calendar. Hit the homepage. Houston and Vegas. Right, we have the divisional. I think, is it a double divisional in Vegas this weekend?
I think it is.
No, so they're getting 3 races in there.
That's how you save fuel. 1 tow, 3 races.
Oh, especially on the West Coast, Division 7, where all the tracks are sadly closing. Wild Horse Pass, Phoenix, that beautiful track, is closing. Unbelievable. So at least I got to go there one time in my life. Oh, I got an interview with. So I did a couple father sons, like I said, Justin Jerome, Jeff Jerome, Scott Burton, and Brad Burton. That one's going to be a good one. I finally got to use my in-car camera.
Ooh, how'd it go?
So be on the lookout for that. That was interesting. It was a little easier than I thought. I could control it from my phone, which is cool. Like I can set it to start recording, from wherever I am. But once the car leaves the line and gets about 100 feet down the track, it disconnects from my phone. So it just keeps recording for like another 25 minutes or half an hour.
Can't you just
Which is
jump
funny.
Can't you jump in the trunk of that car? Just to keep your connection going?
I know, right?
He's over the legal amount of ballast you can have in a car.
Yep. So
Ed,
that
wait,
was
throw
cool.
Bobby in the back.
Got 1 stick shift car, 1 automatic car, and looking forward to it. I have to figure out how to edit 360 video still, which I can do on my phone, but my computer, I have to get
gonna have to bite the bullet.
I had to bite the bullet. I got to get something a little bit stronger to do it. But they came out cool. Met the Jesse Sanderson's family, was so nice and welcoming. They fed me. They got me a crew pass for the weekend, which was nice of them. And then we all went to In-N-Out Burger the first night, which was heavenly. I love that place. And Chris Hall, thank you to Chris Hall. So Sanderson family got me a crew pass, and Chris Hall got me on his restricted area actual crew. So thank you, Chris Hall, for that. Just met so many people, and it was nice because people it's scary sometimes. Somebody comes up to you and says, "Hey, how you doing, Bobby? Nice to meet you." And you're like, you don't know who they are because you never met them in person. So you're trying to look at their like name, their restricted area pass that has their name on it, and you're like trying to hurry up and look down there to see who they are, so you can say like, "Oh, hey, Joe, how are you?"
And that's super awkward when it's a lady talking to you.
Yeah, yeah, right, right.
So, fun fact about In-N-Out. Sorry, I just derailed the show here. A good friend of mine from way back in Oregon, his dad had a burger joint in Winston, Oregon, called In-N-Out. Way back. And some years ago, the corporation that is In-N-Out Burger came to him and had to buy him out for the name.
Get out.
To get that, because they knew they were going to expand bigger. And so he had done it right, so it worked out for him. But it's weird. I've got a good friend now who was the original In-N-Out before they got bought out for the name.
You could have sued them for copyright infringement.
Well, that was part of the issue, is they had to come buy him out so it wouldn't happen. It's very cool.
So we do have a comment that there's an open event in Mooresville. Must be this weekend.
All right. Yep. Who said that? Tom Gent, I believe.
You're so brave, Bobby. How would you just throw those names out there? Like, I don't want to screw them up. So I'm like, unnamed caller, listener.
Yeah.
Caller, you're
I guess
live.
I'm so used to mispronouncing names that I just go for it. And anybody, if I mispronounce your name, correct me. Put the pronunciation in a comment there so I can get it right for you.
And if you
many racers that I didn't get to this weekend, I'm still mad. I wanted to get to Bob Gullett and Charlene Gullett. I saw them in the lanes, which I still have some more footage to post up from like doing some interviews in the lanes and some live footage, but never found their pit spot. I don't know why. I wanted to talk to somebody from Canada and see what's going on over there.
Cool. I think we covered everything then.
Yeah, who else didn't I get to? Luniak, I was trying to get to him. Steve Wan, I was trying to get to. Don Keene, I tried a couple times. So, yeah. Despite that, I got some good ones coming, so everybody stay tuned.
And if you haven't signed up for the Class Race Revival coming up, you need to get that done too.
Is it still open?
Yes, it is open.
Awesome.
They got a bunch of people to sign up when they did a call to action, so
RaceDerbyCity.com.
you don't want to miss out on that one.
Sweet. All right, so good luck everybody that's headed to or is already in Vegas this weekend. What was the other one? Houston, I think you said.
Yes.
And the Open at Mooresville. What's somebody educate me? Mooresville, like where's Mooresville? I know there's a Mooresville, North Carolina. Is that what they're talking about?
Tom said you got his name right. Good work, Bobby.
Thank you, Tom.
So where's
Tom,
Mooresville?
Where's the Mooresville? What state is Mooresville?
It's a Carolina.
Not confusion, so that's good.
So it is Mooresville, North Carolina then?
I don't
right
know.
By Concord or Charlotte? Well, we'll see if he answers.
North Carolina, winner.
Woo! ClassRacingToday.com. That's where you can go for send us a note, help support the show. ClassRacingToday@gmail.com. If you have any questions, you can email them there. We appreciate all the support we get from all the listeners. Another really fantastic way you can help the show grow is by telling more people about it, getting it out there so they can be listening along. And if you have any suggestions about people to talk to, certainly send us a note. We are always looking for more insights. Awesome. Brian and Bob, any last words?
Nope.
Awesome.
Excited to get back out there.
Excellent.
So, Brian got his pistons. I just got my cylinder heads. Let's get going.
Sweet. It's snowing again today here, so we're good. All right, ClassRacingToday.com. Thanks for listening. We'll see you all on the next one. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. Be safe, and as soon as my computer will wake up, We will see you next time. Thanks a lot.